go get them again.
Welcome back on the Robes Away channel. I'm your host, Mark, and on the docket today we have an unboxing first impression video on the brand of Dunhill. And this is called Driven Eau de Parfum. I think there is an Eau de Toilette version of this. Yeah, Dunhill, it's been a while. It's been a few years. I think the last time I spoke about a fragrance from Dunhill might have been Dunhill Icon Racing or something like that. Very much car-related fragrances in that area of that, you know, the 2020s, they were doing that. And I see there's transmission here. I think that's the whole theme here. I see gears. So transmission, perhaps. This is around that area where Icon series went into like racing releases. So somebody in there really liked racing, I think. So let's get into it. Let's unbox this thing and let's see what I think. Now, if you aren't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe, smash that like button, much appreciated. If you are subscribed, merci beaucoup, certainly appreciate it. To my diehards, thank you so much. Let's take a look at the note breakdown of this one. And from what I see, first of all, the first thing that hits me is plum. Interesting note. There is some good notes here: cinnamon, vanilla, amber, cedar. So really the only thing that really stands out is the plum. We'll see if we get that in here. So this is the 2021 release, and I think it was near that area of the racing series from Icon. So let's delve into it. Let's open this one up. And this is a line. I know it's a line because I saw an EDT of this in blue. I think it might have been a bluey. And then there's this one. Actually, nice bottle. Dunhill's bottles have gotten better over the years, and you got to give them that. The Icon bottles are iconic. Honestly, they're beautiful. It was a start of the new age for Dunhill, and I don't know, like creative direction kind of has gone downhill, and I think the creative director that introduced the Icon series left Dunhill, so which would make all kinds of sense because the fragrances kind of started going downhill once he left. But and I could be wrong, but anyway, bottle looks great, and going with that gear transmission look, fully plastic. There is no weight to this, but interesting nonetheless. They should have made this metal. That would have been a good look. That would have been a really interesting look to the line, but I digress. I'm no creative director. Let's delve into this one. Let's see what this one is all about. Atomizer, a little weak sauce. I wish I could get a little better out of it, but everything looks good from now. Let's see if it's racing themed as a scent profile. Whole synthetic red apple. Hello. I know what this is. This is it's a clone. You know, when I smell a fragrance that I've had since my teen years, it's not very hard to dissect and figure out what they're trying to go for here. But in 2021, you're trying to be Boss Bottled? Yeah, it's got, the apple is strong. The apple is very strong, much stronger in this one, and really highly synthetic. Like an apple note's kind of hard to make it authentic, but at least Boss Bottled turned down the volume on it to kind of hide it. Cinnamon, second in command, could possibly be first in command because apple notes dissipate real quick. And a little bit of that vanillic thing going on. So it has that, but the red apple is very bad off the top. And it is your primary, so you better like it. I don't know if I put it on skin. I don't remember now. I'm sorry, but I'm not. I'm going to put it on skin, just in case I did forget. Yeah. It's okay, but it smells like Boss Bottled. And again, I guess Boss Bottled, depending who you are in your region and how much Boss Bottle costs. It is an old fragrance. It's still selling well today. Obviously, it's still on the market, still getting tons of flankers. It is a top seller from Hugo Boss, so not hard to find that fragrance. However, depending on price tag, right? Boss Bottle can be expensive depending on the region you're at. At some regions, you can find it at discounters. You can find it really cheap at discounters, and you can find it in bargain bins sometimes. That is a big find. If you find it at a discount or at a bargain bin, like under 50 bucks, Boss Bottled, great purchase. This is going to be in the bargain bin, obviously. So the difference between this and Boss Bottled is, first of all, the apple is volume turned right up. It really doesn't give this fragrance a good introduction. Honestly, it's really turned up. The cinnamon is probably on par as far as Boss Bottled goes. The vanilla is turned up more in Boss Bottled. In here, not so much. It's toned down. So I think comparing this to the Hugo Boss, and it's not very hard. Like, you don't need a fragrance reviewer that has 20 plus years in the industry to say that Hugo Boss has more balance to it. It has less rough edges, but that's what it is. You can find this for under 20 bucks at a bargain bin, maybe. If you're brand new to fragrances and you kind of like Boss Bottle, but you don't want to pay the Boss Bottle price, you can do worse than this. You can go and get a clone of Boss Bottled, which I'm sure like Middle Eastern brands will, but you're not going to find it for 20 bucks. I don't think you can, but I might be wrong. I'd rather have it from a brand like Dunhill that has to have it in stores. You know what's going to be inside the bottle here. It has to go through rigorous checks before it can be sold in stores. Unlike some of these clone brands, you don't know what you're getting. I'd rather spend my money on that than this. But honestly, a cheap version of Boss Bottled. Honestly, now I'm not saying it's a one-for-one clone. I don't think, honestly, throughout my journey, and I've been on YouTube since 2009, I've never smelt a one-for-one clone. I don't know what some of these talking heads are talking about. Just because the introduction smells the same doesn't mean that it's going to dry down the same way. There's a lot of nuances and a lot of fragrances. There's no one-for-one clones. Unless they're using a machine, and even at that point, you're using a machine to clone a fragrance, you have to, like if they're using Firmenich, let's say a brand's using Firmenich for their fragrance, yeah, you can use the same type of cinnamon, but if it's a cinnamon that is only for Firmenich and not for anybody else, your fragrance isn't going to smell like the exact same thing. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of copying in the fragrance industry, yes. One-for-one clones, there's a lot less of those than are portrayed in a fragrance community. This is not, and again, I'm saying Boss Bottle because it's a reference point. It smells like it off the top. And if you like that family, I like saying that it's in the same family of it. Like it's a brother. It's close. It's very close. Going on to the plum note, very minor. It's there. You can smell it if you want to find it. The lime, same thing. Very minor pieces here. Not enough to alter the Boss Bottle DNA. Not enough to change or make it better. But it doesn't have any of that in Boss Bottle. So already I've just seen a little chink in the armor that it's not Boss Bottled clone one-for-one. It's not. But yeah, it doesn't have that vanilla that Boss Bottle has. Very heavy on the cinnamon right now. So like I said, like I even called it, I said the apple's going to dissipate. It will. It's not going to last. And it's not. The cinnamon is starting to be primary. Yeah, not bad. But again, it's in that starter, teenager, I want fragrances. Maybe I want to build a collection. There's nothing wrong with purchasing this for that price tag. However, there's a lot of downfalls to it. And for that price tag, that is to be expected, right? I don't know what this is retail, like maybe 60 bucks, maybe more. Maybe I'm wrong. As far as retail goes, I wouldn't pay retail for this. This is Bargain Hunter Dream Come True. 25 bucks is probably the highest I'd pay for this. No, I got this at fragflex.com. You can too. Go check out Fragflex. I'd like to see what they have it for. If it's more than what I said, sorry, but no. You can find it there. You can use my code TFG10 and get 10% off on your purchase, so that might help. But yeah, I wouldn't pay more than 25. That's my cap on this one, I think. USD 25. So Canadian, my Canadian friends, you start going into your early 30s, but you're kind of starting to push it as far as quality goes and what you're getting. You're starting to get inching closer to Boss Bottled territory, where you could probably find a discounter for, again, I haven't looked to purchase Boss Bottled, but a small bottle, 50 mils. You don't have to get 100 mil, but 50 mils. It will probably run you $50, $60, $70. That is worth the change. Go get that if you're going to buy this for 40, 45, 50. Now that you heard my take, I'd love to see yours in the comments below. This is eCheapie, Dunhill Driven, EDP. Love to hear your take. Good, bad, ugly, don't care. Don't co-sign me, don't need to. If you want to, go ahead. And if you want to kill me in the comments, go ahead. You know, say, what are you smoking? This doesn't smell like Boss Bottled. I didn't say that, but sure, you can. But honestly, not a bad fragrance, but it's in its lane, right? And that's where it is. 25 bucks, kind of a clone thing. And Dunhill's kind of been doing that lately, kind of going off. There's a few of these lower tier brands trying to get their name out, like the Montblancs and the Dunhills, kind of not really having their own identity, and they're stuck in this, with the clone brands, they're stuck in this area. I don't know if that's a good place to be, but as always, a great or poor fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one.